Salutations, my fellow dudes and dudettes, and welcome back to Paper Mario. Last time, we explored more of the flower fields and acquired a number of berries, uh, talked it up with some of the locals, and, well, more like we just... I sort of forgot what I did last time, actually. We actually only just started Flower Field, so most of that was kind of a lie, but I mean, we were talking to some... But anyways, we before I explain what's going on, like at least for me today, we got a new enemy, Rough Puff. They have a HP of 10, attack of 4, and defense of 0. They don't do much. They just sort of like headbutt you, which you would think, since it's a cloud, you would think it wouldn't be capable of doing anything, but it's a video game. So I do apologize. My voice sounds a little off because I guess a cold has been going around in my household, and sadly I was the last one to pick it up. So if I sound a little funny, that's all it is. Speaking of things sounding, well, actually, yeah, that does sound funny. The stinky herb. It heals 5 HP. It smells bad. Do not bring it to the chef. I made that mistake. I just realized what I said, because if you cook the stinky herb, you get a mistake. If there's anything else it can do, I wouldn't know off the top of my head. Oh, who's this? Look at this crystal tree. Have you ever seen anything so beautiful in all the world? Oh, excuse me. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Posse. What's wrong with my mouth? This is my nose. How rude. Anyway, it was this fertile soil that made my nose grow so long. I happen to like it. Your nose is pretty nice too. Well, most people don't usually compliment the nose. But sure, that's what you into. Alright, cool, we got fertile soil. We're gonna be needing that for later, because, the flower we talked to earlier, in the last part, that we saved from all the Monty moles, she told us not to grow the magical bean with fertile soil or miracle water. So we got the fertile soil, we just gotta find the miracle water. And since we picked up those yellow berries, we can go to this guy, or girl, however you want to call it, and give them the yellow berry. If you do bring them the wrong berry, they'll just spit it out like, ew, it is gross. And at no point do these flowers like trip you up by expecting a different colored berry from what you would expect. Like, the red one will eat the red berry, the yellow one will eat the yellow berry, and so on and so forth. We're gonna be saving that we're gonna be saving that, I almost said power block. That super block for later. Gonna want to be careful around here because, like, there's spikes everywhere. I don't want to fall into any of those. Oh, is that a gold flower? Oh, that's interesting. I'd say we check it out after I'm done wasting time with this party selection thing. Really? I think I was contemplating how I wanted to approach this. Not that it mattered, because I didn't think I was going to be able to kill it anyways. Anyway, we got the Amazing Daisy. They have an HP of 20, a defense of 0, and an attack of 20. But that's okay. But most of the time, they just usually run away, so... a lot of cases, you don't have to worry about it. Like, for instance, what are you doing? No, 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 no. Do you know how often that happens? It almost never happens. And of course, the recording curse bit me in the rear and caused me to take all that freaking damage. However, to compensate for this, I got 42 experience. Now, that is a good slash bad thing. You give me a second. Okay, there we go. I apologize for that. For some reason, my footage was acting all kind of janky and whatnot. But like I was saying, the Amazing Daisy shouldn't be really attacking you, and yet for some magical reason, it attacked me during the recording. I was so bewildered by this that I literally, it literally bugged me throughout the entire time, and it's kind of a problem now because since I did end up leveling up the next battle afterwards, the enemies in this pet chapter aren't going to really do much for you, assuming you have the same kind of whacked out luck that I did. Because as you saw, the Amazing Daisy gave you an absurd amount of experience, and surprisingly enough, if you do want to grind to at least get your stats to the highest that they could be, just bear in mind that you will do a hard lock on the game if you get another level up after you max out your stats. The Amazing Daisy is the perfect candidate for this. It doesn't appear often, but when it does, and if you can manage to take it out, you're good to go. Anyway, we got this flower girl named Petunia, and she's looking for a water stone. Not the one that evolves your Eevee into a Vaporeon or your Staryu into a Starmie. Just a stone that makes the water come back. As for where it is, well, that's what the blueberry is for, because now that we have the blueberry, we can actually access the next area. However, there is something else we could do. Also, you find a jam and jelly in there. Hold on to that. And when you get the chance, put it in storage. Just a quick note, there is no shops to be found in the flower fields. But anyways, you bring the blueberry here, and whoever it is down the well will give you the Flower Saver badge. This badge absolutely rocks, in my opinion. You didn't need to see me going through all my badges. The Flower Saver, just like the Defense and the Power Badge, though, it does require an absurd amount of badge points, but I think it does benefit you better overall because it saves your flower points for all your special moves. So I recommend using it, assuming you've been raising your badge points like I have. If you haven't, then I would highly decide against it. And a little side note, I forgot to mention this in the previous part, because I only discovered it recently. The bees can poison you, so that's not fun. But anyways, speaking of enemies, we got a new one. We got Spinies. They have an HP of 5, an attack of 4, and a defense of 3. Their defense is pretty obnoxious, but that's why you have Watt. All they do is they do this rolling attack, and it's pretty easy to guard, unless you get lucky and just completely dodge the attack. You can flip them over if you do have the Quake Hammer badge, or the Power Quake that we got back in the previous chapter. Okay, so there's actually an invisible block here, and I sort of mess this up because you're not supposed to break that the stone the wooden block. What you're supposed to do is use this block, go over to the other one and then hit that item block. I'll be doing that at a later point because I may or may not end up having to come back to this chapter somehow anyways. Just call it a hunch concerning the old man favors. Anyways, now we've come to this maze, this grassy-like maze, and now we've got these Lakitus talking it up. We can't increase the power of the Puff Puff machine. It's just gotta be around here somewhere. It's just gotta be. Is that Mario? Look, man, it's Mario. Let's look for the stone later. Let's go rough this dude up. Oh no, Mario? Are you sure? I'm not sure. I'm, you know, in the right mentals. Nah, forget it. I'll fight anyway. Here it comes, Mario. And with that said, we got a new enemy. We got the Lakitus, finally. They have an HP of 12, an attack of 3, and defense of 0. Their main method of attack is throwing spiny shells at you. However, occasionally those shells will open up and become spinies. Thankfully, that didn't happen for this battle, otherwise this thing would drag out a lot longer. And you might notice I only got 1 star point from the Spiny. Since I got all that experience from the Amazy Daisy, the experience you're going to receive from the enemies is going to be very lackluster. So, unfortunately, as tempted as I was to fight all the enemies, I didn't benefit from any of them anymore, so I just stopped fighting them. It's like, yeah, I did gain the experience, and if I'm being totally honest, if you manage to pull that off like I did, you're going to save yourself a lot of time in this chapter. Because you can just avoid every battle you possibly can. Except for, like, battles like this where they're mandatory. Anyway, that wasn't too bad. And again, see, you only gain like 6 stars points, so again, they're not worth it anymore. The Amazy Daisy sort of crushed the experience gain, all the experience points in this chapter, so. Okay, now this maze can be a little confusing, but I did manage to get it on my second attempt. And the big confusing thing about it is that you don't really know that you can just go through some of these areas. Like a lot of the higher bushes, you can't really know that you can go through them. But what you want to do is you want to go for this pipe right here. You want to enter it from the right side, go into the pipe, and there you go. As for what's over here, it's another flower, or a rose specifically. Hello, it seems like ages since I last saw a visitor here. I'm Rosie, a rose spirit. I'm ever so glad to meet you. Here I am in full bloom, and there's nobody to look at me. Tell that to the maze next door. Admire me all you like. Breathtaking, aren't I? Aren't I just incredible? You're so honest and charming, and underneath that scruffy mustache, I bet you're handsome. Scruffy? Well, screw you then. I take back what I said. You're ugly as hell. I can't believe I just I can't believe I just said that. I feel like a monster. Oh, great. She has the water stone. I couldn't resist its gorgeous glitter, so I made it mine. I could look at all. What did you say? I should give you this stone? Oh dear, you're saying Lily is in trouble without this? How very sad. It can't be helped. The stone is mine now, you see. Well, screw you, give it to me anyways. You mean Lily will wither up without this stone? How sad. How very pitiful. As hard as it is to believe, that Lily sometimes acts like she's prettier than me. Your world is in peril, and all you care about is yourself? Why is everybody so self-centered here? It's like I don't get that. You come to Flower Fields, you're here to save everybody, and people like her are just stuck up. It's like, what gives? Do you want me to save her place or not? And then there's the one flower from before that gave it. Oh, by the way, we're cutting to when we meet up with Posse because she actually has what we're looking for. But anyways, with the previous part, she gave us a magical bean and told us not to plant it because they don't always be free. But jumping the gun a bit, we kind of need to do that. If we don't defeat the boss of this area, like, it'll always stay cloudy and miserable. I just feel like everyone is in it for themselves. Well, except for her. She's really nice. And she gave us, a berry. Crystal berry. So now we're going to waste our time to go all the way back over there. Have you found anything? Oh, how pretty, I love it. That's much nicer than this ugly old stone. You better hurry back and give this stone to Lily. Make sure she knows that she was saved because of me. Such loneliness. I've gotten so beautiful that I'm starting to scare myself. What is the most beautiful flower in all fields? That is me, of course. You're so conceited. What is with all of you? It's the water stone. Quickly, put it in that hole there. And once we do that, the water just magically comes back. I guess the water stone is the source of water in this area? I mean, it's cloudy. Wait. It's constantly cloudy in flower fields. Does it not ever rain? That doesn't make any sense. If you have clouds all the time, it should at least rain every once in a while. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. This is paradise. Thank you so very much. I'll give you some miracle water from this spring. Here you are. And now we have all three ingredients in order to plant the magical bean. Unfortunately, there's kind of a problem. If you use this miracle water on any plant, it'll grow like gangbusters. What? There's no sun. Oh yeah, great idea. You should go see about getting the sun back into the sky. A resourceful guy like you must have some idea about how to get the sun back up again. I bet you'll do it. You saved me, after all. She's actually right. Now that we do have the magical bean, fertile soil, and miracle water, we can plant it, but without the sun, it can't grow because, you know, plants can't grow without sunlight. Alright, but before we, get a move on, we can finally get this, bubbleberry. We're gonna be using that a little later. And by that, I mean next part, because we're actually coming up to the end of, this part. So yeah, that's all, yeah. You might have noticed that I've been cutting out a lot of going back and forth, and that's kind of the biggest problem with this area. There's a lot of going back and forth. It's really annoying. But anyways, now that we did all that, next time on Paper Mario, we're gonna find out what this bubbleberry how we could use this bubbleberry to proceed. So until then, I got a juice.